Hi, my name is Daishanette Parker, and I go by Hazel with a Y. Um, my speech today is going to be about patient care. So, I know that as a CNA, MA, or LVN, that now there's been developed a walkaway policy when it comes to certain residents, but not all facilities have. I feel as though when it comes to not an altercation, but so much as a verbal disagreement or to agree to disagree within the situation, however you would say it, I feel like a lot of the times CNAs get blamed for residents saying stuff that's inappropriate. I feel like instead of accusing the CNAs, all parties should be asked, or all sides, I guess, should have some type of repercussion, or they should ask instead of blaming ahead of time. So, I say this because recently I had an experience with a resident that I was told was not psycho, and he proceeded to say that I threatened his life and that I tried to smother him with a pillow, which is not true at all. He was mad because his medication did not come, and I was telling him, explaining to him it takes time, and yelling and screaming at the LVNs until it comes because we have the walkaway policy. It would prolong his patient care, so be mindful. And he took it as a threat. He proceeded to tell the LVN that I threatened his life and that I was just going to kill him and he didn't feel comfortable with me. And instead of them asking me what I said, they basically tried to write me up and said since I can't handle verbal statements from residents as such, that I need to go ask permission to say certain things to certain patients and have someone else handle the situation for me because I basically couldn't use the proper vocabulary to do so. Which is not how I feel like the situation should have been handled regardless. Because whether the patient is psycho or not, all of those patients are there for different reasons, but they can be in the wrong too. And a lot of facilities make it seem like these patients do no wrong, they see no wrong with them, but then they turn around and say, oh, this patient does this, this, and this, be careful. But then when they do something of that sort, the CNA gets in trouble. Or even the interactions CNAs have with LVNs, where LVNs are saying that CNAs are supposed to be the eyes and the ears, whatever happened with the patients, but when you tell them, they come across as bothered, or they don't come immediately, or they don't see an issue with it, but then when you go through the chain of command to the RN or the head person in charge for the night, they become offended because they feel like you went against them. Which makes no sense, because if a CNA is telling the LVN something of importance, we're still in the learning process. So if we don't know, or if it's wrong, it's wrong. Sure, many of us can accept that, but I feel like at least take the time out to check out the situation, see all sides, analyze it, and give us some form of security instead of feeling like our opinion doesn't matter. That's how a lot of things fall through the cracks and residents become sicker than what they are, because the job is not being done properly and it's just being seen as a simple task with limitations. There's so many things that can happen within the industry that we're in. And I feel like all those things should be acknowledged. If they're in their residents are there because they're bipolar, acknowledge the fact if there's supposed to be an altercation that they might have said something wrong, or if this person is very sexually aggressive, acknowledge that. Don't just blame the CNA. I feel there should be a law for this, or someone that can speak up and nip this in the butt. I feel like it's a big problem for a lot of CNAs, and it's why they switch positions a lot, or just see it as somewhere to go for a 9 to 5. I feel like CNAs have a voice too. We matter. So fight the powers for CNAs, okay?